Hi everyone, thanks for coming back to the BNS channel. My name's Edie Ann. I have a pretty severe sinus infection happening right now, so if I sound nasally, it's because I am. I want to talk to you today about social media selling. Kind of some tips and tricks maybe, some do's and don'ts. I feel that because of COVID and all that we've experienced and had to adjust our ways of doing business, that we kind of got through into a virtual world, which isn't bad. It's just change. It's different. And I think a lot of us are still learning the types of things that we can and cannot do on a virtual platform and how to make it work for us. Because here's the deal. When you're in person, you can be much more authentic and convincing, influential, in person within 2 or 3 interactions. When you're online, it can be close to 20, 40, sometimes more interactions before somebody feels that they can trust you enough to buy from you. So it's super important for you to understand that before you start posting and doing things, because the way that you're going to present it has to be different. Okay? It has to be different. I've talked about the 80-20 rule before. 80% you, 20% business. On your fan pages, on your business pages, you could flip-flop that, but here's the thing. You could say that 20% of it is you, 80% of it is business, but I still believe that no matter what you post for business, there has to be a level of authenticity that will attract people to want to buy from you. When you are face-to-face, you might have been up against 200 people that were doing the same thing, trying to sell the same product, but now you're up against thousands that people have access to. So you have got to set yourself apart in order for people to see you, for you to stand out, and for you to make it so that people want to buy from you and not the other person, right? So I think one of the things that I want to make sure I mention today is that live or video is going to probably bring the most value toward authenticity than anything else on the internet. And here's why. Because it's the closest to being in person than anything else. Okay? So remember I said at the beginning that it might take 2 to 4 times for you to approach somebody and speak with them face to face for them to build that trust enough to buy from you. Well, if you're doing it live, you are shortening that time frame because you're giving them an authentic look at who you are, what you sound like, what your vibe is giving out, that you can't do in a post. Very often, and I've been dealing with, I think we all have been dealing with this since the day email first started, and that is you cannot get a true context of what somebody is talking like or expressing themselves like through text. You just can't. And I know many times we'll say, well, I didn't really mean it that way, but that's how it came across. Or maybe they're using capital letters because it's easier to see, but society sees it as yelling, right? So text can be very difficult for you to get across how you're actually expressing yourself during that statement. And so that's why video or live is going to be a little bit better, because you have the ability to improve on that context of how you're expressing yourself in the statement that you're trying to share. Okay? So live and video is one of the best ways to formulate a relationship online. The other thing that when it comes to posting, you are so much better off using your own pictures, your own verbiage, your own text. And listen, I'm a culprit of it as well. But so often we don't feel that we're creative enough, or that we know how to type up it better, good enough, or whatever, that we will literally copy and paste somebody else's post and picture, make it as our own, and hit the publish button, the post button, right? So here is something to consider when you're doing that. One, you're not being authentic to yourself, because if you didn't write those words, then they're not yours, period. It might sound like you, and it might be relatable to you, but they're not yours. So they're not yours. It's not authentic. Secondly, sometimes when we go searching on Google for pictures, that picture could have already been reported as spam by somebody else, used by somebody else, and now you are inviting that to your own profile because you're using that same picture. So it is always better to use your own personal pictures with your own product. Okay? Now, Scentsy does provide us with a library of marketing materials, pictures, primarily for our Disney customers, right? Or our Disney products, because we have a licensed agreement. We're only able to use pictures that are created and approved by Scentsy and Disney together. So a lot of us use them. Now, again, could be somebody else reported it as spam, and so now you're putting that on your profile and taking on that spam report with it. We are okay to use personal pictures of Disney products. So, again, you're better off using personal pictures of our product, okay? Can't have Disney products and Scentsy products in the same, or non-Disney products in the same picture, right? Can't do that with multiple posts. They have to be separate posts. And knowing that, that's fine. Just make sure that you aren't cross-contaminating your post with multiple different products that don't belong together, okay? So, use your own pictures. I mean, I just kind of feel that is, but again, I am a culprit of that. And part of it is being lazy, not to create my own content. We all do it. But we're putting ourselves, so here's the deal, right? You're lazy, I'm lazy. I don't want to make my own content, so I take somebody else's. Guaranteed that post is not going to get a lot of engagement. So what was the use of posting in the first place, right? The purpose of us using social media for selling is to get engagement, to get people talking and looking at our products, and then ultimately buying our products, right? So if you're posting just to post, it's kind of like throwing dollar bills in the air and it's windy out and nobody's catching any. It's useless, right? So utilize your knowledge of social media by personalizing it with your own content and providing something of use to people. So if you are struggling with laundry, maybe there's a lot of it, maybe you're struggling with some stained laundry or whatever, find the problem, post the solution, right? And so try very hard to be authentic, and the best way to do that is through live, through videos, through personalized content that is not copy and paste. Don't search on Facebook for the same pictures that everybody else is using, because again, like I said, this was kind of an eye-opener for me. Somebody could have reported that picture as spam, and now all of a sudden you're posting the exact same picture and your account gets in trouble because of it, right? So try to avoid that at all costs. And have some personalized content, but stay away from controversial things. I know a lot of people say, well, this is my Facebook page. I can post whatever I want. You can. You absolutely can. But if you're trying to run a business as well, and it's a business that you own, such as Scentsy, you are not going to want to cause controversy as somebody is trying to walk in the front door of your store. And ultimately, your profile is your store, right? You might greet them, but you're not going to greet them with, hey, did you vote for Trump or Biden? There's some controversy there. That's not necessarily something you want to do, right? You might not even say, hey, are you a Red Sox or a Yankees fan? Okay? When it's controversial, you don't want to have a lot of that on your page because it's going to deter people from visiting your page based on your beliefs and your opinions, right? Everybody has a right to their opinions. Everybody has a right to their voice. And so it is best to keep those types of things off of your Facebook. And the list that I go by is religion, sports, politics, and sex. Those are the 4 things that I don't usually post about at all. Once in a great while, I might have a poll or a draw to post something, and I will, but it's probably like a 1% of my posting is something that could potentially be viewed as controversial. You don't want to do that. You also don't want to be posting negative stuff about people and things because you then get judged, which I know is not a great thing, but you do, on your vibe that you're giving off, right? When you talk about people or you're talking down about people or certain things, which again can be controversial, you are forming an opinion that not everybody is going to agree upon. And again, you're right. We got freedom of speech. Anybody can speak. But I also believe that we have a freedom to be respectful, and we have a freedom to be non-judgmental, and we have a freedom to keep our opinions to ourselves at times. There's always a time and a place, and I truly believe that Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, not really the place for it. We've got too much of that going on now. That's all it is. We get flooded and inundated with stuff like that to the point where people don't even want to be on social media now because of it. So if we can lend a hand in that, let's just not do it for ourselves, right? Especially if you're running a business. Especially if you're running a business. If you're not running a business, then it's your, do whatever. You still can do whatever. But just keep that in mind, okay? You could be deterring a very good customer away because you've shared an opinion or something controversial. All right? I hope you found these tips to be helpful this week. Hopefully everything is going great in your world, and I will see you on the next video.